which is, I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Nrsimha. Demonic, or rather demon-like desires for fruitive activity in this material world, please appear in our hearts. And so this is another case of praying for pure bhakti. Please get rid of all these demon-like desires I have in my heart. Please appear in my heart and by your mercy and drive away all these material desires so I become fearless. You see, taking complete shelter of you. 18:9, the verse in the purport, you will get the entire essence of these two sessions. Svastiyastu vishvasya kalavrasidatam dayanta bhutani shivang mato daya manashtabhajang vajatam madokshade deveshitam no mitarapya haitaki. May there be good fortune throughout the universe. And may all envious persons be pacified. May all living entities become calm by practicing bhakti yoga, absorbed in thought of Him. Oftentimes I would get up in the morning and I would just say this prayer, the Sanskrit and the English, just to put myself in the right mood for the day, you see. May there be good fortune upon all living entities throughout the entire universe, you see. Let everyone throughout the whole universe now be engaged in devotional service. It's a fabulous prayer. It really puts you in a proper frame of mood, how to face the world, you see. Instead of seeing the world a place to struggle for economic development, what we usually do, a place I struggle for economic development, right? Instead of approaching the world that way, which is materialistic, why not wake up and pray for the deliverance of all living entities in the whole universe and start your day in that mood? It puts you in quite a different frame of mind, and it's a beautiful, ecstatic frame of mind. To wake up every morning and pray for the deliverance of all the living entities in the universe. Just by citing this prayer. You learn the Sanskrit and the English, you memorize it, put a little index card by your bed. Memorize the Sanskrit and the English. I really recommend this verse. It's powerful. It's very, very powerful. And then now let's look at Prabhupada's purport. Now it even gets more powerful. You look at Prabhupada's purport. The following verse describes a Vaishnava. Vanchakopatarubhyascha kripasindubhya ebacha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Just like a desire tree, a Vaishnava can fulfill all the desires of anyone who takes shelter of his lotus feet. Prahlad Maharaj is a typical Vaishnava. He prays not for himself, but for all living entities, the gentle, the envious, and the mischievous. He always thought of the welfare of mischievous persons like his father, Hiranyakashipu. Prahlad Maharaj did not ask for anything for himself. Rather, he prayed for the Lord to excuse his demoniac father. This is the attitude of a Vaishnava who always thinks of the welfare of the entire universe. Lord Jesus shows the same mood when he was being crucified. He said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Not like, curse them. No, forgive them. Please bless them. This is a Vaishnava, you see. He's the well-wisher of even his enemies. Those who even want to kill him, he is their well-wisher. That is Vaishnava. And now my favorite paragraph, practically in all of Prabhupada's books. Now we're really getting to the essence of the essence. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and Bhagavad Dharma are meant for persons who are completely free of envy. Parama nirmatsaranam. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj prays in this verse, Kala prasidatam. May all envious persons be pacified. The material world is full of envious persons. But if one frees himself of envy, he becomes liberal in his social dealings and can think of others' welfare. Anyone who takes up Krishna consciousness and engages himself completely in the service of the Lord cleanses his mind of all envy. Manashchabhajang bhajatam madokshajay. Therefore, we should pray to Lord Nrsimhadev to sit in our hearts. We should pray. Bahir nasingho hridaye nasingho. We chant it every day in the temple, don't we? They were singing it when I came in. We sing it in the morning. We sing this again and again in the Shringa prayers. Bahirna Singho Hridayena Singho. How does Prabhupada translate that? Listen to this translation. Prabhupada translates those 4 words. Powerful stuff indeed. Let Lord Nrsingadev sit in the core of my heart, killing all my bad propensities. That's Hridayena Singha, you see. And then he says, and then for Bahirna Singha, let my mind become clean so that I may peacefully worship the Lord and bring peace to the entire world. The devotee is praying that I can make the world Krishna conscious. I'm praying that I can be Krishna conscious, Hridayena Singha, and I'm praying that I can make the world Krishna conscious, Bahirna Singha. It's very beautiful, very powerful. So, back to the title. Dilemma, saving oneself or saving the world? The answer is Bahirna Singha, Hridayena Singha. Save yourself and save the world, both. That's our meditation. One who is actually fixed in the pathway of this great acharyas, of these great acharyas like Prahlad. This is their move. This is our family business. ISKCON, just like when I go to Vrindavan, I go to Ganga Prasad to buy dhotis. Cloth is their family business, you see. So ISKCON's family business is save the world, you see. Not dhotis and saris, but our business is save the world. That's the business. And if you're an ISKCONite, if you're a true ISKCONite, you're thinking, what can I do to save the world today? Who can I tell about Krishna? Who can get a book? Who can get prasadam? Who can be invited to the temple? Let's see. You're always thinking what you can do to make one person Krishna conscious, or 2, or 3, or 4. Spreading Krishna consciousness within your own family. That's where it begins. Charity begins at home. Make my wife Krishna conscious. Make my husband Krishna conscious. Make my kids Krishna conscious, you see. That's where our revolution starts. Wherever you are, that you begin it right there. You see. And then expand it out, you see. The whole world is waiting to be awakened in Krishna consciousness. It's like they predicted it will happen in due course. It may take a few thousand years, but it's predicted by Krishnadas Kaviraj, Sajjana Durjana Pangu, Jadda Anagana, Premanvanyayala Dubala, Jagatera Jana. This Krishna consciousness movement is a tidal wave of love of God, and it will inundate the entire world, drowning everyone, the pious, the impious, the lame, the invalid, the blind. Everyone will become drowned. So sometimes we hear it said, well, it's not possible for the whole world to become Krishna conscious. It may not be possible in our lifetime, you see, but it will eventually happen, according to Krishnadas Kaviraj. But you know what? You never know. Prabhupada said impossible is a word in the Fool's Dictionary also. So why not try to make the world Krishna conscious in our lifetimes? Prabhupada, in another place, says like this, another one of my favorite quotes. He said, a Krishna conscious being is always thinking and planning how to deliver the entire human society back to home, back to Godhead. It's his constant meditation. How can I deliver the whole world back to Krishna? And he said, even if he's not successful in doing so, his perfection is guaranteed, and anyone who follows him will become perfect. So there's no loss. If I'm thinking, what can I do to make the whole world Krishna conscious? What can I do to spread this message, you see? You may not be successful making even one devotee, but you will go back to Godhead because you're meditating like that. You understand? If you're meditating how to spread this movement, you're always thinking, how can I push forward this movement? If that's your constant meditation, you're going back to Godhead. You're actually as good as already back to Godhead. If you're always in that mood of spreading Krishna consciousness. And if you have that mood, you'll probably make some devotees along the way. You see? You'll probably make some devotees, and they'll go back to Godhead too, you see. And if they follow your mood, they will also make some devotees, who will also make some devotees. And the whole thing could go viral. It could. It could go viral. The thing is, you never know what's going to happen in global history. Some very disastrous thing could come on this planet to where everybody's looking. What is the solution? What is the solution? And here we are, we got the solution. There could be some catastrophic global disaster that completely puts the whole society into a shambles. Economic collapse. Could be so many things. But if we are always poised and ready to give guidance, you see, to the suffering people of this world, how they can have true happiness on this planet. You see, we should always be ready when that opportune moment comes. I was told that there was some government in Eastern Europe. They actually asked the devotees for guidance on how to run the country. And the devotees said, well, we don't know. You see, that was a big mistake. We should always be poised and ready, you see. That if the leaders understand these Hare Krishnas, they have some knowledge, they have some understanding. Let us take guidance from them, you see. I wrote one song called The Peace Formula, and based on Bhagavad Gita 5:29, Krishna says, Bhaktaram Jagatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshvaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Gyatvam Shamshamritstati. One who knows me is the supreme owner, the supreme enjoyer, and the supreme friend achieves peace. So Prabhupada has presented this as the peace formula. You see, they can solve all the problems of the world. So I wrote a song explaining it, talking about this peace formula. In the third verse, I said, listen here, all of you world leaders. There's one thing you must understand. And then I explained the verse. So I sent the lyrics to President Obama. And he really liked it. He said, I want you to know, I'm listening. So, you never know. If we can have an impact. If we're convinced that this knowledge can solve all the problems of the world, we're absolutely convinced that this knowledge can solve all the problems of the human society. And we share our conviction with others. And I was amazed. He wrote me back and said, I want you to know I'm listening. Because I said, listen here, all you world leaders. And he said, I want you to know I'm listening. I got his on the order of Chaitanya. Jadi deka tathekaha Krishna upadesh hamara agaya guru haryatara edesh. Whomever you meet, instruct him in the teachings of Krishna. In this way, on my order, you become guru and deliver the people of this world. That's the order. We've all been ordered to be deliverers. Not just the sannyasis, not just the brahmacharis, not just the temple residents. Every follower of Lord Chaitanya has been ordered to become a deliverer of the fallen souls. So that's your duty. Prabhus and Matajis and kids, we all have this duty to spread this movement and make the people of this planet happy by putting Krishna back in the center. That's our duty. So there's some questions. We can try to answer them now. Okay. Is knowledge in bhakti more important than chanting? No, chanting is the most important thing. Even if you have no knowledge, if you chant, you can be delivered. But knowledge without chanting will become dry in due course. We had this experience in Austin. One boy came very fired up, boy from Sri Lanka. He bought a whole set of Bhagavatams. He was so blissed out. He was reading. We gave him some. He said, why don't you chant also, dude? He said, no, I don't want to chant. I just read. So he got about halfway through and he lost his steam. He lost interest, you see. So that chanting is very, very important. The chanting is the most important thing. The knowledge is there to convince you need to chant, really. Because we're very much programmed to, with all this modern day so-called intellectualism and philosophy, we've been so much polluted by all these other ridiculous philosophies like Darwin's theory. Our minds are so polluted. The knowledge is there to help us disentangle ourselves from all this mundane knowledge we've been programmed with. So the knowledge is important. These books are important. But the most important thing is the chanting. If Krishna is something to every prayer, listening to every prayer, then why is not giving any solution to us from that suffering? Why is Krishna not giving us any solution for our suffering? He is giving us the solution. The problem is we're not taking it. We still try to enjoy this material body, which is not a place of enjoyment. Krishna is giving us the solution for all of our suffering. We just have to have complete faith in His words and stop being so skeptical about the idea of complete absorption in pure devotional service. By chanting 16 rounds every day till we leave the material body, then we can go back to Godhead. We have to learn how to chant without offense also. You can go on chanting, but if you're committing nama parad, you'll be chanting for many lifetimes. You see, we have to learn how to chant without offense. That's why we have the 10 nama parads. We have to learn how to chant purely the holy names. How to preach impersonalist who believes in Brahma Jyoti. Well, there's many arguments for defeating impersonalists. They say that the ultimate thing is the light. You just have to merge into the light. But ask them, do you think you could be happy in a world where there's no love? There's no loving relationships? If you think the light, you'll be totally satisfied by light, just go into a closet, turn on a light, and sit there and stare at the light, and tell me how long you can enjoy doing that. Just go into, put a light, a lamp, take an empty closet, take a closet, an empty thing, everything else, except put one lamp in the closet. Now you just sit there and stare at the lamp. Now how long will you be satisfied doing that? How long can you do that? You see, because the Brahma Jyoti means it's just you and just the light. The thing is, we all want variety, we want relationships. So it's not very practical. It's impersonal liberation, or called liberation. Prahlad Maharaj prayed for good for everyone in the universe, and that everyone be engaged in devotional service. And so many our acharyas also prayed in this way, but we see that so many living entities just on this planet throughout history are still in ignorant suffering and not engaged in devotional service. Why aren't these prayers being answered? Well, we are the proof that prayers are being answered. It's interesting in this connection. Vishnujan Swami asked Prabhupada a question one time that Prabhupada explained how Bhaktivedanta is a pure Vaishnava. A pure Vaishnava has the power to deliver every living entity in the whole universe. Bhaktivedanta said he is left with his work unfinished. So Vishnujan Swami was asking, what is the meaning of this? And Prabhupada said, he has the power to deliver everyone, but he has not done that. He has left some service for us. So actually, that's how we have to see it, as Prabhupada explained to Vishnujan Swami, his quarters in Los Angeles. That everyone is not delivered yet because we are supposed to take up that mission also. These acharyas could have delivered the whole world, but they have left that service for us. Take up this world deliverance mission. That's their mercy upon us, to give us this duty that now we have the responsibility to deliver the suffering souls of this world. What can we pray to Subhadra Mata? She also controls the material energy. Pray for pure bhakti. What else? Sometimes I feel I need some of my own space. I know this is not good. How do I... No, we have to have some space. Your 16 rounds is your space. That's your space. That's your space. So we're giving you the space. That's your personal private meeting with God. What more space do you want than that? You having your own personal private meeting with God every day. Wow. That's bigger than anything you could ever get in the material world. Your own private personal meeting with God every day. What do you advise to a person who just started coming to the temple? Chant and be happy. We have different levels. We have different levels of participation. If you just want to come and take darshan and take a little bit of sadhana, we love you. Come on. If you're interested to become a pure devotee of Krishna who's qualified to see Krishna face to face, we got a training program ready for you. It's up to you. Let them choose their own comfort level, but we let them know we have these different levels. You can be at whatever level you want. You can remain a guest. You're welcome to come as a guest. We love you. Please come, join the kirtan, have a little prasad, go home, be blissful. You're welcome. If you're interested in achieving the perfection and making this your last lifetime in the material world, we will train you how to become a pure devotee, a liberated soul, if that's what you want. How to handle pratishta during preaching. Pratishta means... What does pratishta mean? I forgot.
Fame.
Anybody know what pratishta means?
Fame.
Fame?
Pratishtha.
Pratishta. P-R-A-T-I-S-T. Pratishta.
Desires, waiting for desires.
Pratishtha.
Material desires?
Fame.
Desire for fame?
Name, fame, and adoration.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the devotee is not interested. He doesn't. Prabhupada shows the perfect example. He said, they say that Bhaktivedanta Swami has accomplished so many wonderful things. Actually, I've done nothing at all. Whatever I have done, it is simply all the blessings of my Guru Maharaj. If I have any credit at all, it's simply that I was fully obedient to his instructions. So the devotee gives all credit to his spiritual master. He never takes credit that I have accomplished this or that as my own greatness. No. He always takes a humble position. He gives all credit to his spiritual master. And that's the proper understanding. It's by the grace of the spiritual master that one is able to accomplish this, able to accomplish that. So when the devotee never takes credit. If he has any credit at all, it's simply because I was very faithful to serving my spiritual master's orders. Please advise first follow and then preach. Yeah, for example, if you're smoking cigarettes, you'd be a hypocrite to tell people to stop smoking, you see. It's like when I was in high school, the teachers had a smoking room, but the kids weren't allowed to smoke. If you got smoking, you get in big trouble, you see. But the teachers are in there smoking. You see, this is hypocrisy. If you're telling people to chant Hare Krishna, you should chant Hare Krishna. If you're telling people they shouldn't eat meat, you shouldn't be eating meat. You see, you should follow the process, and by following this process, then you can also preach. After preaching, I'm becoming puffed up that I'm cultivating someone in Krishna consciousness. So how to overcome that? You have to pray to Krishna, my dear Lord, I'm getting puffed up thinking I'm a great preacher. Please help me to remember I'm just an instrument in your hands. Please help me. You have to pray to get over this false ego. When we start preaching why anarthas create more problems in devotional life, how to handle it. You have to pray. If the difficulties are coming up, you just have to pray. Difficulties are actually a blessing because they give you an opportunity to beg Krishna for his help. if Krishna is the cause of all good causes, then who is the cause of all bad causes? Krishna is the cause of all causes. From Krishna's perspective, everything is actually good. Even the so-called bad is good, because it rectifies the living entities, the sinful living entities. What language do we speak in the spiritual world? Sanskrit. Should we be concerned with past karmic reactions which have happened to us, or do we only concentrate on the future and the right things we need to do? Bhaktivedanta Thakur has written, was it Bhaktivedanta? Forget the past that sleeps, and ne'er the future dream at all, but act in times that are with thee, and progress thee shall call. So, we understand we have so many sinful activities in the past. By engaging in devotional service, we neutralize the reactions from those past sinful activities. So we only get a token reaction for them. We don't get a full reaction, a token reaction. Looks like our questions have run out. If there's any more questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them. The real bottom line is we have to be very serious to awaken our Krishna consciousness, and we have to be very serious to help the poor suffering souls of this planet to become awakened in Krishna consciousness. The more one can develop this revolutionary desire to revolutionize the world with Krishna consciousness, the more you will feel the revolutionary presence of Lord Chaitanya within your heart. In other words, one becomes the more and more you develop compassion, the more and more you become an instrument for the Lord's compassion to act through you. So to be in that position of the Lord's mercy flowing through you is a very exalted and very ecstatic position to be in. Therefore, we should really strive to be in that mood of giving Krishna. Because the more you're in that mood, the more Krishna becomes manifest in your own heart. The more you feel His presence, the more you can taste His presence, the more you have that giving mood. Just hand it here. Okay. Prabhupada's opinion of Sai Baba, Shri Sai Baba. There's so many. Prabhupada, I remember when I was in Atlanta, and one boy, his name was Peter, he had a question for Prabhupada. See, there used to be a famous poster back in the early 70s called "Who is Meher Baba?" It's a famous, and then he answered. He says, "I am Rama, I am Krishna, I am the Ancient One." It's a very popular poster back in the early 70s. This bogus incarnation. So it was really weird that this boy Peter, he said, "Prabhupada." He said, "Prabhupada, who is Meher Baba?" He asked that question to Prabhupada, who is Meher Baba? Prabhupada's answer was, there are so many bogus Babas. Just find out who is Krishna, that is sufficient. So that's what Prabhupada has to say about these Babas. Just find out who is Krishna. We really don't have to, we don't have to go here or there for Krishna consciousness. Everything we need is coming from down in Lord Chaitanya's movement. Everything is here. You don't have to take a little here, a little from there, a little from this Baba, a little from that Baba, a little from Gurudev, or you don't have to do some, mixing all these different teachings together and come up with your own teachings. That doesn't work. You have to take Bhagavad Gita as it is, you see. Some people say, well, Bhagavad Gita is very nice. According to Bhagavad Gita, I'm God, you're God, and we're all God. I mean, they screw out all these different misinterpretations. I was reading other editions of the Gita, the Isherwood edition. I had it, but it didn't liberate me, you see. You have to have the parampara message coming down from a bona fide spiritual master. And that knowledge will actually liberate you from this material existence. Otherwise, it may sound very flowery, very nice. I went to one guru there in Austin at the Methodist Student Center. We had a visit from Swami Satchidananda. And he gave us the profound teaching. He said, I'm God, you're God, and we're all God. You see, that's what he told us. They had the Swami come all the way in to Austin, and he told us we were all God. You see. Like, there's all this bogus nonsense is going on, this Mayavadi philosophy. If you're God, then why are you suffering the cycle of birth and death? My temple president in Gainesville, he was really into debating. And when he would, on the university campus, he would sometimes have a debate with a student. It'd be so powerful. 300 people would gather to hear his debate. Amarendra Prabhu. He became our attorney, eventually our attorney in Los Angeles. He's still acting as an attorney from ISKCON. Very powerful in argument. So he visited Prabhupada in Chicago, and he had heard one argument from the Mayavadis that we asked them, why are you suffering in the material world? And they say, well, it's just my lila. I am God, it's just my lila, you see. So he didn't know how to defeat that argument, so he asked Prabhupada. He said, Prabhupada, what if they say that this is simply my lila? I am God, and it's my lila. My being here in the material world is simply a lila. And Prabhupada told him how to answer that question. He said, here's what you tell them. That you are God, I accept. But I am also God, and my pastime is to kick you in the face. Prabhupada ki jai. See, Prabhupada cannot be defeated by anybody. You know, he can outsmart everybody. So, you know, so we should be completely Prabhupadians, you know, Prabhupada followers, because Prabhupada is the most powerful preacher, you know. None of us disciples of Prabhupada are anywhere near Prabhupada, you know. All we can do is try to connect you with Prabhupada, really. None of us are anything compared to Prabhupada. But we're acting as his representatives, so that's good, you see. But Prabhupada is the most powerful Acharya. He was handpicked front in the spiritual world by Krishna himself to come here and write these books. These are the most powerful books. These books will actually go down in history for having completely transformed the whole global society. And we're the fortunate persons who actually have respect for these books. How many people are reading these books? How many universities are based on these books? Nobody. Practically only in ISKCON, you see. We are the most fortunate people in the entire world because we understand the importance of these books. So we have to study these books, we have to learn these books, we have to live these books with our every thought, our every word, our every deed, in all times, places, and circumstances. And then we will have truly revolutionized our own hearts, and then we can truly revolutionize this global society. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Now there may be some prasadam.